factory is trying to sell the clothes to domestic consumers in China rather than exporting them to the US.
Ships coming into our ports, fewer longshoremen working, fewer people transporting goods to the warehouses, and fewer people working in warehouses.
Remember that made-in-China electric toothbrush you ordered last week? It's currently floating somewhere in the Pacific Ocean because the shipping company can't afford to deliver it anymore. Cargo volume at Chinese ports has collapsed by 10% since the tariffs hit, and those numbers are getting worse by the day. But why should you care about shipping containers? Because everything from your iPhone parts to Tesla's batteries comes on those ships. When Orange Turd decided to play trade war general, he didn't just hurt China. He broke the entire supply chain that keeps our economy running.
Shipments from China to the US have reportedly shrunk substantially as Beijing continues to contradict the US leader's claims.
And guess who pays for that brilliant strategy? Not him, that's for sure. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Going one step further, Five Below instructed its suppliers to cease delivering goods that had already left Chinese ports and then actually returned those items.
Multiple pickups a week to just one. He's been told many containers are stuck in Chinese customs because buyers are unwilling to pay the high tariffs.
This was done in order to take the situation to the next level. Take into consideration a scenario in which ships are doing a U-turn in the middle of the Pacific Ocean while being laden with inexpensive fidget spinners and Bluetooth speakers that cost $5. The current state of these companies is the lowest it has ever been. Everything has gone horribly wrong when it turns out that it is more cost-effective to carry products back to China than it is to pay the new tariffs.
Workers at the port and truck drivers are already seeing a slowdown. Obviously, that's making them very nervous because this is their livelihood.
The automotive industry is particularly impacted negatively as a result of this. These enterprises require thousands of components, each of which must be manufactured with the finest precision and must be able to fit together flawlessly. Instead of using a few parts from China, they need thousands of components. It would appear that Trump has splashed water over the parts of the jigsaw puzzle that is the most costly in the world. As a result of a lack of available components, even Tesla, which is owned and operated by an egotist, was forced to alter its plans to manufacture those peculiar Cybertrucks. The concept of just-in-time delivery is the driving force underlying the entire modern production system. It is not as complicated as it may sound. All it implies is that factories receive what they require at the precise moment that they require it, rather than having an excess of inventory. Until it is not, it is a very effective thing to do. Just as Trump's reasons for losing the popular vote bring the entire system to its knees, his rage about tariffs does the same thing. Currently, there is a growing accumulation of shipping containers, much to Trump's unpaid invoices to contractors. Either they are being returned or they are sitting idle at customs, and they contain electronic equipment as well as spare components for vehicles. As a result of a lack of raw materials, manufacturing operations are beginning to fail, shipping costs are increasing, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to find storage space. When factories are shut down, who do you think suffers the most? You are aware of those who are employed.
Right now, there are about half a dozen containers basically filled with tens of thousands of pieces of women's clothing stuck at this.
This has resulted in a significant decrease in revenue for suppliers, and employees are facing the possibility of shorter work weeks or perhaps layoffs. Trump made the assertion that he would bring employment back to the United States, but he did not add that in the process, he would eliminate a significant number of jobs that are currently in existence.
Ships coming into our ports, fewer longshoremen working, fewer people transporting goods to the warehouses, and fewer people working in warehouses.
The fact that tariffs are increasing the prices of everything is the component that is the most frustrating. According to the British Retail Consortium, a body that seems like a fancy tea club but is actually being taken very seriously, the interconnectivity of the whole transportation industry has resulted to a significant increase in the cost of transporting any products. This is the conclusion reached by the organization. Despite the fact that it only occurred in one part of the building, the entire structure is impacted. In the elevator, it's like someone is farting on the floor.
Factory is trying to sell the clothes to domestic consumers in China rather than exporting them to the US.
It's likely that Boeing is the one who is feeling the pressure. Both the placing of orders and the delivery of aircraft to Beijing have come to a total halt. The situation known as airplane limbo is currently affecting more than 50 aircraft. The stock price of Boeing is falling at a rate that is quicker than the approval rating of President Trump during a pandemic. And 1.6 million jobs in the United States are in jeopardy. This is also having an effect on the development of electric cars due to the fact that the aviation industry and the automotive industry share a great deal of technology and materials. There has been a chain reaction that has proven terrible. What is most astounding is the interconnectedness of everything, which is something that the majority of people do not take into consideration. Those components that are used in airplanes? Electric vehicles contain a significant number of them. As a result, the future of transportation in the United States will be affected when China cuts its purchases of jets in addition to the manufacturing of airlines. Just consider the unexpected results that could occur. It could have been the thing that they were supposed to do. What goes on inside the orange brain is a mystery that no one can truly know. Exactly like contestants on reality cooking shows who have just been informed that they have 5 minutes left to prepare their dish but haven't even turned on the oven, businesses are frantically trying to get things done. They are looking for alternative suppliers outside of China, notably in Thailand, Vietnam, and India. They are actively searching for these suppliers. Walmart, the retail establishment from which approximately 50% of the American population gets practically everything, is making a concerted effort to procure goods from Latin America and Southeast Asia in order to escape the tax trap that China has created.
The port's top trading partner is China, and a trade war could lead to an 80% drop in U.S.-China trade.
However, what exactly was the lesson for today? The easy win trade war that Trump is waging is forcing the economy of the United States to undergo a slow-motion train disaster. The fact that conducting business on a global scale is challenging simply helps to heighten the intensity of the surprise. I was not told of such by anyone. Certainly not in my view. His actions were to blame for the failure of the banks. A little delivery issue is not the only issue at hand in this situation.
Escalating U.S.-China trade tensions could slash local port activity, jobs, and tax revenue.
Close to 1 million jobs could be at risk.
Based on the findings of the study, it appears that there are other systemic problems with global commerce networks that are still adjusting to life after the epidemic.
Pretty high tariffs on a number of Chinese goods, and for the boss, it makes little sense now to actually ship these clothes to the US.
In addition to the imposition of tariffs, this necessitates a substantial revamp of the manufacturing and distribution networks that are in place all over the world. The next time a reality TV celebrity with an orange face suggests imposing beautiful tariffs as a solution to complex economic issues on a global scale, perhaps we ought to switch the channel.